Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. I am Smita Prakash. Prime Ministers of India and Bangladesh met last week in the Burmese capital of Naypyidaw and reiterated the warm and friendly ties that the two neighbouring countries share. Dr. Manmohan Singh and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina were attending the third summit of BIMSTEC, the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. We have a report on that and a report on a meet in the Indian capital of intellectuals and political leaders from Bangladesh and India to discuss bilateral relations. On the sidelines of the BIMSTEC summit, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh met Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and conveyed to her that a pact on the Teesta water sharing was an intricate issue, but one which India was in favour of signing. The Teesta River is said to be the lifeline of India's Sikkim state, flowing for almost the entire length of the state. The river forms a border between Sikkim and West Bengal before joining the Brahmaputra as a tributary in Bangladesh. The total length of the river is 309 kilometers. India has proposed to build a series of dams within the Teesta River system that should produce some 50,000 megawatts of electricity within the next 10 years. In the recent past, Chief Minister of the Indian state of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, had objected to giving Bangladesh 33,000 cusecs of water, as mentioned in the final draft for the provisional treaty for Teesta water sharing, instead of 25,000 cusecs in the initial draft, thus stalling the treaty.
The Bangladeshis have a certain perception of how much share of the Teesta river flow they should have. And the central government in India has a certain perception, and the state government of West Bengal has a certain perception. And so there is a disagreement on the numbers.
Dr. Manmohan Singh also assured Sheikh Hasina that India would supply 100 megawatts of power from its Tripura grid to meet Bangladesh's growing demand. Sheikh Hasina said that the supply of electricity was very crucial for Bangladesh's economy as the country aimed to become a middle-income country by 2021. The Indian Prime Minister also congratulated his Bangladeshi counterpart on her victory in the last general elections and assumption of office of the Prime Minister for a third time. India and Bangladesh share a special relationship, a bond that dates back to the creation of Bangladesh, language and cultural commonalities and much more. To carry forward the improvement in ties in the past few years, intellectuals and political leaders from the two countries met in New Delhi last week. A report. Bangladeshi representatives appealed to India to not give refuge to Hindu migrants from their country, as that would encourage Islamists to wreak more atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh and cause demographic changes. The issue was raised by leading Bangladeshi filmmaker Nasiruddin Yusuf, who appealed to India to stop offering shelter and help to Hindu migrants. He said that radical Islamic groups attack Bangladeshi Hindus in the border areas to make them flee into India in order to grab their land and property. They also seek to make the villages completely Islamic and break the secular nature of society. There have been violent attacks on villages, business establishments and places of worship of Hindus in Bangladesh in the past 1 year. The threat coming not from the Muslim majority but from the Jamaat-e-Islami and its supporting groups.
If India says that the Hindus will be given shelter in India if they are driven out from Bangladesh, then the people who are doing this heinous act in Bangladesh, they will be encouraged. So it is better to say stop doing this kind of communal activities in Bangladesh or wherever, even in India.
The danger to minorities in Bangladesh is clearly from the Jamaat-e-Islami and its political ally, the BNP. Former Prime Minister and Chief of the BNP, Khalida Zia, has turned a blind eye towards the Jamaat's violent ways, not condemning their anti-minority acts and thereby condoning it. Khalida Zia instead blames the Awami League government for the attacks, saying that secularism is a cloak that the Awami League government dons for convenience. But statistics show that secularism is under threat in Bangladesh. In 1971, Bangladesh was 25% Hindu. Today, just 8% remain. Many have migrated, but it is still the second largest religious community in the country. Nasiruddin Yusuf also said that every South Asian country needs to be careful of recurring communal riots and growing intolerance in society.
If anything happens in India, then the Muslim of Bangladesh, they will think that their brothers are being tortured by the Hindu fundamentalists. So we have to be very careful. This applies for Bangladesh also, and also any country of South Asia or in Middle East or anywhere. You see, think about the Pakistan. I mean, you think about the Christians of Pakistan. They are so marginalized. I mean, you can't do that to human being. But that's happening in Pakistan.
It is interesting that only last month, India's main opposition Bharatiya Janata Party's PM candidate Narendra Modi, in a rally in Assam, said that India must welcome and provide accommodation to Bangladeshi Hindu migrants. He also said that if the BJP came to power, it would do away with detention camps for Bangladeshis.
दिल्ली में सरकार बनते ही यहाँ के आपके डिटेंशन कैंप मैं खत्म न कर दूं तो मुझे कहना। वहां से उसे खदेड़ दिया जाता है। जो कल तक हमारा था, वहां से उसको खदेड़ दिया गया है। उस हिंदू जाएगा तो कहां जाएगा? दुनिया के किसी भी देश में किसी भी रंग का पासपोर्ट क्यों न हो, लेकिन अगर दुनिया के किसी देश में हिंदुओं को खदेड़ दिया जाएगा तो उसके लिए तो एक ही जगह बची है, वो वहीं चला आएगा। क्या भाइयों बहनों, क्या हमारी सरकार उन पर भी वैसा ही जुल्म करेगी जैसे विदेशों में उन पर जुल्म हो रहा है?
The major exodus started in 2001 during the BNP Jamaat regime in Bangladesh, when thousands of Hindus left Bangladesh for India after having to deal with constant persecution. In the 1971 Liberation War, all communities, including Hindus, had fought together. But unfortunately today, due to the retributive action by Jamaat cadres, many Hindus are forced to migrate to India. Meanwhile, during the Friendship Seminar in the Indian capital, some Bangladeshi delegates also questioned whether the secular nature of the Indian governance would continue if the BJP were to win the 2014 elections in India. The BJP is perceived as more pro-Hindu compared to the major rival, the Congress party. The Bangladeshi delegates' queries were based on opinion polls in India, which showed Narendra Modi as the front-runner for the Prime Minister of the country. Senior Bangladeshi journalist Syed Badrul Ahsan said that since it seemed apparent that a Hindu-leaning political party would be coming to power in India, how could India continue to ensure protection of minorities in the country? Mr. Modi, he said, already had the taint of not preventing anti-Muslim riots in Gujarat in 2002, even though the courts have not found him guilty. BJP leader Tarun Vijay tried to dispel anxiety among the Bangladeshi representatives and said that relations with neighbours had become stronger during the BJP's rule under Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and that Modi would basically carry forward that policy.
I can only say we have had the best of the relations under Atal Bihari Vajpayee with Bangladesh, with China, and even with Pakistan. We had the courage to invite Pervez Musharraf after Kargil. We had the courage to face all sorts of pressures and not to go to war with Pakistan after parliament attack. And people know that we will be continuing with the legacy of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and Modi is one of the followers of Atal Bihari Vajpayee's legacy. We don't want to say tolerant. It will be the best, mutually acceptable, and making every neighbor happier with the bilateral relations. This will be the Modi legacy.
slamming the Congress-led UPA government in India for worsening relations with neighbouring countries and in particular for its failure to complete the Teesta Water Agreement and the land border accord with Bangladesh, the opposition leader Tarun Vijay assured the delegates that the BJP was not opposed to these two agreements but had hindered it from being implemented due to the method in which the Congress government was bringing them about.
From another quarter, which you know very well, and about the land boundary issue, the only party which was very open and very positive about solving it, Government of India knows, is us and not those whom you think are very, very secular. But our objection was not on the issue. We would very much like to have it solved. It was the way, the procedure that the government adopted to present the issue in the parliament. It didn't. Nobody heard a single word about it, and it was pushed like they were going to a war. And then a very fundamental issue about the constitutionality of the way it was presented. Mr. Jaitley spoke about it. So I think this can be solved in a very amicable way.
Delegates at the seminar spoke about the need to improve bilateral relations during and after elections in both countries. Bangladesh had recently concluded its general elections and seen the re-election of the Awami League government. India goes to polls in April 2014. Election results will be declared on May 16th in India. The results will be crucial not only for India but also for neighbours including Bangladesh. Being the largest country in the subcontinent, continuity in India's foreign policy is crucial for peace in the region. Thank you for watching Bangladesh Today.